first thing we do is to dry the tofu by pressing it. So we take 400 grams of fresh firm tofu, we wrap it in a clean cloth or paper towel, and we put it between two flat surfaces. This is the same thing we did in the vegan egg salad from my previous video, linked below. So then you have to load it up. I usually use books, and that way I can also recommend you books such as this one by Björn Moschinsky, a German chef who has great recipes. And then you have to leave it there for 20 minutes. After that, your tofu is super dry, and that way it can absorb the flavors that you're gonna be using in your preparation. I always cube it in very small cubes because I like it better, because I think that way you can distribute the tofu throughout your servings in an easier way. So just cube it small, and this part of the tofu, you can also use it just to make a platter with several things like vegan cheeses, cherry tomatoes, and also cubes of crispy tofu. And also you can use it with any sauce you want, not only for this preparation. So once you have all your cubes of tofu, now you have to transfer this to a bowl. And in this part is where the magic comes. You have to put a pinch of salt if you use salt. If you don't, you can just leave it out. And then we add the secret ingredient to achieve all the crispiness, which is a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And that will help you separate the tofu cubes that tend to stick together because they're still a bit damp. So you have to just really mix it in and mix it through. And then we have to put it in a preheated oven at 250 degrees Celsius. You have to put it on an even single layer on a baking tray, and then just leave it there for 15 minutes. My oven has a ventilator. You can also use an air fryer for this. It actually works very well. So while the tofu is pressing, we're gonna make everything else. For the sauce, we're gonna be needing a thumb-sized piece of fresh ginger. If you really like ginger like me, you can go bigger, and if you don't like it a lot, you can go smaller, but ginger is like really nice in these kind of dishes, so try not to leave it out. For peeling it, you're going to be using a spoon. That way you're not going to be chopping your fingers off, and you're not going to be wasting a lot of the ginger. And for the garlic, I recommend 1 clove of garlic in this recipe, but if you really like garlic like me, you can never have too much, so you can use 2, 3, or even 4 cloves of garlic. I'm using 2 because, yeah, why not? I didn't want to show you that this was just a garlic recipe. And also we're going to be using 2 scallions and broccoli. We want about 2 cups of broccoli. So you want to chop the stems and then also make small bite-sized pieces with the florets. And you want about 2 cups of it. So we're going to be leaving that for later. And the scallions, you just chop them finely. That's it. Now for the sauce, you want to mince the garlic and ginger, but if you're not really good with a knife, you can use a grater or even put all of the ingredients of the sauce in a blender and just make a very, very smooth sauce. And that's also great if you don't have very good cooking skills like me, because I'm really bad with a knife. So now to make the sauce, we put all of the ingredients together in a small bowl, and we have the ginger and garlic paste, and we're going to be adding 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. You can use whichever you like, or also water mixed with miso paste. Also, we're going to be using agave syrup or date paste. I make my own, which is healthier, so even if you use plain sugar, it works just as fine. So the other thing we're going to be using is ketchup. This will add a bit of color and a bit of sourness, so it's a really good thing to add. 2 tablespoons of that. And the one thing I didn't have is sriracha sauce, which is great in this dish, and for that you're going to be adding 2 tablespoons. And last but not least, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. This will thicken the sauce as it cooks, and it will make it taste like really professional and fancy, so don't leave it out. Mix everything together and leave for later. So now to assemble the recipe, we put half a cup of water in a wok, and when it's boiling, we add the broccoli. I really like my broccoli al dente, but if you want to like overcook, you just leave it for longer. And if it dries up, you just add more water as you need it, because you want your broccoli to be tender and ready as you like it before you add everything else. When it's done, you add the tofu, which is already ready and crispy and delicious. And now you're going to be adding the sauce. The sauce will have to boil for 1 minute or 2 to thicken, so you have to leave it for a bit longer. And the scallions, you want to add them just at the end, because scallions tend to overcook very quickly, so you don't want to have overcooked scallions in your tofu because it's not going to be as fresh. So you add them when you are like maybe 1 minute to go, and then you can stir it, and that is it. If the sauce starts getting too thick or dry, you can add 1 or 2 tablespoons of water at a time, and then you can cook it for longer if you want your recipes to be more tender. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this recipe. And if you like my recipes or you want more recipes like these or in English, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell for receiving notifications for the next time I'm uploading a recipe. So I just ate it with a bit of cooked brown rice, which was so good. Thank you. Bye-bye.